Well, Vice President Kamala Harris is finally going to the U.S. southern border to see what her administration has wrought. And oh boy, we are now seeing the manifestation of all of the policies from the Biden administration destroying American cities. It has been boiling up and boiling up. Multiple reports now of gang violence, Venezuelan gang violence from Miami to New York to Aurora, Colorado to Chicago, all across the country, terrorists coming over the United States border. And the Biden administration is facilitating all of it. And a bombshell news story today from the Border Patrol agents are warning that children as young as 8 years old are being recycled by different smugglers at the southern border, meaning that multiple adults are using these same children in these sex trafficking operations at the U.S. southern border, and nothing is being done about it. Somebody who's been warning us about it as part of a brand new documentary series. And it's one of the, I'll say this, hand to the heavens, it is the most powerful documentary I have ever seen. And I encourage all of you to go to thisistreason.com to see what J.J. Carroll, former 24-year veteran of the Customs and Border Patrol, has done along with partner Ryan Mata. Unbelievable documentary. And J.J. is, of course, trying to get the message out to anyone that will listen right now. Members of Congress, the United States, we need to wake up. And JJ is joining us today. JJ, welcome back to the show. Great to see you. And amazing work on this documentary. I know we'll talk a little bit about it a little bit later, but it is the most powerful piece of filmmaking I have ever seen.
Wow, that's an incredible statement right there. And I share it with you. And I don't say this with any arrogance because I have nothing to do with it. I was just in it. Ryan Mata and his team, his editing team, created what I believe is a unicorn, never to be seen, has never been seen and will never be seen again unless he creates the second one, which he says is even better. But I believe it is that impactful, and I'm glad that you share that. And the people that have been reaching out to me are saying the same thing. I have never seen anything like this. It's the most powerful documentary I've ever seen. So I wish it wasn't. I really do. I wish that I didn't have to create a documentary on the federal government child sex trafficking. Dear God, listen to what I just said. That is shocking on its own, Clayton, that I'm using federal government in coordination with child sex trafficking. I can't believe I have to say that out loud. And I can't believe that I spent months of my life documenting and creating a documentary about the federal government trafficking children. I mean, that's shocking on its own.
You know, it really does make like The Sound of Freedom look like a Disney film. I mean, I'm just going to be bold and say that. It really does. So again, go to thisistreason.com, buy the documentary. Our audience has been amazing in the pre-orders, but go and check it out. Because now we've got this story today. I want to get your take on all of this. Yes. So the Border Patrol agents warning that children as young as 8 years old are being recycled by different smugglers at the border. I mean, this is just one of like 20 stories right now that we have at the border. And then Kamala Harris is going to go down there to Arizona and pretend like our border is secure. And she's now said she's against walls. She doesn't want any walls. I mean, they have literally created this insanity and this treasonous act. So first of all, your response to this 8-year-olds and recycled smugglers story.
You know, the sad thing is it just bounces right off me. Why? Because I watched it. I watched it in my career. It became very normal under President Obama because President Obama refused to allow us to separate families. But under Trump made sure that these men that come in with these children are DNA tested, and we interview the child and the quote the parent, and if they're not, we separate them. Let me explain what this means when a man brings across a child. They call it renting. So they're renting children on the South Side. These are young children that have been sold or rented by their families or kidnapped from Central America and Mexico, brought up to the border. They have been brutally raped multiple times. And when you look at these children, they drug them up almost to comatose state where they can't function. Their eyes don't move. They just sit there. And literally, I know it's hard to believe, the illegal alien just throws the child on his shoulder like a sack of potatoes, comes through the border. We release them because now there's no DNA testing. Biden removed all DNA testing. Do you know, Clayton, if that I'm a Border Patrol agent and I go, that's not his father? They can't even tell you when the child's born with their date of birth. I can't give a DNA test unless that man consents. So you know what they tell the Border Patrol? I don't consent. That's my child. Bye. And we release them. The illegal alien walks onto our streets to go wherever they go. That illegal alien turns the child back over, the package, to the cartel on the north side, and then they walk the child back. And then they rape the child, and then they drug the child up some more, and then they rent it to another person, and they tack on their smuggling fee. This is happening. Everyone knows it's happening, Clayton. This is not a one-off, or this is not an anomaly. This is an every single day occurrence across the entire 2,000 miles of the southern border, and our government does nothing. Nothing. Think of what you and I are talking about. We're not talking about a dog or a cat. Maybe, Clayton, if we were talking about pets, people would be more upset than having children be done that.
Right. Yeah, if we were talking about pets, maybe the Today Show would actually cover it. Maybe 60 Minutes would actually cover it. But no, we're talking about children, and so it's completely blocked because it's all part of the apparatus. What you've uncovered in your documentary is that this isn't just some anomaly. This is an orchestrated invasion, and it's being carried out through the United States government under the head of the Department of Homeland Security. And it's being handled with all of these different NGOs, these non-governmental organizations, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So when so much money is at stake, of course they're going to cover it up.
Yes, because they're all getting wealthy off it. Listen, let's just go to the base, okay? Let's just go to the root cause, as Kamala Harris says. If you want the border to be open, meaning you want more legal residents, legal immigrants to come into America and receive the green cards, then go to Congress and say, I need 10 million. I need 20 million a year, whatever that number is. But here's the rub, Clayton. If they come back and say we need 10 million, then the question is, well, what do you do about the 10 millionth and one or the 30 millionth that tries to cross? You're not going to build a wall, Kamala Harris? You're not going to stand up the Border Patrol? This is the same woman that on X just saw this today, where somebody unearthed a clip of her dancing and shouting, no more deportations, no more deportations. Right. Lady, you are the border czar. Your responsibility is the sovereignty and protection and safety of the United States of America, and you have abdicated. You have not just abdicated, you have done this intentionally and purposefully. You are trying to destroy America. You are trying to fundamentally transform our nation. And if people won't speak this boldly and just say the truth, then our country is going to die in silence. And you're going to shock. You're going to be, you're watching it. You're watching it in Springfield, Ohio, and everyone's shocked that they allowed 20,000 illegal Haitians into a community that had 38,000 people. You decimated the grave diggers are throwing shovels of dirt on the casket of Springfield. That community's dead. I don't care what you think that the people are going to do in Springfield. It's dead. It's a dead community because thousands more of illegal alien Haitians are pouring in, and you will be the minority, meaning the American will be the minority in their own community. It's over. It's over. And when they find out, Clayton, when they find out that they can win seats in the city council, in the school board, and take over the mayor, that's when the game changes. It's over. You can't.
And we're seeing it all across the United States. Of course, the reports about all of this Venezuelan gang violence now making national headlines. Finally, we've been covering it for weeks here on the show, and people called us xenophobic. You're anti-Venezuelan. No. We talked about the root cause of destabilizing a country and then coordinating with the Department of Homeland Security and wide opening our borders to allow all these Haitians to pour across the border, to allow these gang members from Venezuela to pour across the border into the United States. It's all coordinated. It is treason. It's all part of the plan. And are you surprised at all now to see the reports in San Antonio of this Venezuelan gang violence, Miami, Queens, New York, now Chicago on the precipice of disaster and a city about to explode? Surprising to you at all?
No, because Ryan Madden and I went across America and we documented it. It's going to be in our new documentary, Invaded. It's going to come out in 1 month. We documented it. Now, the question I get, which is shocking from interviewers, is, well, do you think that this is just like random? They're just taking over apartments in Dallas and Connecticut and San Antonio and Chicago and New York. And I'm like, are you kidding me? When you look at major gangs, huge international gangs like Trinidad Agua from Venezuela, They're a corporation. They have a CEO, and he is dictating down to his lieutenants, this is what we do. We take over communities, apartment complexes, and then we own neighborhoods, and that's where our home base is. And then, then we're going to spread out across America, and we're going to pull. What do you do when you're an army? You need land. You need to occupy land. That's what they're doing. And everyone's sitting here going, well, I don't know. Well, maybe that's just Aurora, Colorado. No, they're in Connecticut. They're all over. This is just what we know about. And look at Aurora, Colorado. This is something maybe bigger that needs to be discussed, Clayton, is we have allowed millions, but in thousands within communities of illegal alien gang members. Our police forces are not prepared for this. Aurora, Colorado has 748 law enforcement officers for a community of 400,000. What that means is that Aurora, Colorado is an extremely safe place. They didn't need law enforcement. Now you have thousands of gang members inside Aurora. The police cannot, even if they wanted to, they can't win this war. And it is a war. They will be slaughtered in the streets by the Venezuelan gang members. Period.
It's the sanctuary cities, right? It's the same.
Yes, it is.
So you can't fight these sanctuary cities. And this is the point that I think is now coming to light, where you're seeing all of these pockets of violence all across the United States. They all have one thing in common: sanctuary cities. So it's very easy for you to find out if you live in one of these areas, because the crime spreads out. It's not just like in Aurora. It's not just in Chicago. It's not just in Miami or in San Antonio. It spreads out into the suburbs. So all these people that think, that's not near me, I don't need to worry about it. Sure, leave your garage door open at night and see if your bikes are there in the morning. Like, this is being reported all over the place. And the number of crime statistics is surging. We just got the new crime statistics out this morning. It's staggering. So theft is up, skyrocketing. Again, just let your kids run around in the neighborhood. Let your bike sit out in the front of the house. Let your, you would normally maybe leave your garage door open at night or in the afternoon while you're at home. Yeah, see if your bikes and see if all your valuables are there when you come home. Like, this is happening all across the United States, adjacent to these sanctuary cities.
It is. And when you look at it, let's just look at St. Louis, Missouri. This is because I live in Kansas, so it just came out yesterday. A wonderful man, police officer, 18 years, 2 children, gets run over by illegal alien in St. Louis, murdered, killed, on line of duty. Wait a minute. The illegal alien had multiple arrests, multiple DUIs, multiple assaults. Why is that illegal alien in our country? But I want you to understand, I'm not talking about one police officer or one beautiful man that got destroyed and his family's ruined forever. I'm talking about millions. This is happening across America, as you said, and it's proliferating. I could go, Clayton, right now. We can do a timer, and I could go for 24 hours straight without even taking a break, drinking water, and just go from one crime to another, to another, to another of illegal aliens destroying, rape, murdering, assaulting U.S. citizens across our great country. And our government has done nothing. And Clayton, this has to be said. This has not just happened overnight. This started under Obama, but it really accelerated under Biden. And the Border Patrol and local and law enforcement and DHS has not done one thing to stop it. Not one. I talk to all my guys all the time. They're saying we're doing nothing. Nothing has changed. It's all the same. 500,000 children have been lost under Joe Biden. They have been arrested and released and lost. They've had to admit that they have lost over 320,000 children. How do you lose 320,000 children? And I'm telling you, the number is 500,000. They just haven't told us yet. And why I sound so passionate, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking right now, America. We're at 50 million illegal aliens inside America. 50 million. It's not even disputed in the House of Congress. They don't even dispute it. They just acknowledge it.
Yeah, we're watching a nation in absolute decline right now, and America better wake up. I mean, I think that's why you're seeing it in these poll numbers now. The media is trying to hide what's about to happen and the decline and the destruction of Kamala Harris, and Americans are fed up. 66 days now with no press conference. No wonder they're hiding her from the press because they don't want her speaking to the cameras. Absolutely not. They don't want her speaking to the cameras. And regardless of what you think about President Trump, we know his track record on the border the last time. And so you can either choose this, what you currently have, or you can go back to what you knew worked but from before. And that's what we're sitting on right now. Your team just sent over a code. I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to get this for What is Treason. Please, everyone right now, go support this documentary. With the code Redacted 15, you're going to get a nice discount on it. You get the first documentary that's just come out, okay? And then you're going to get the second one for free, which comes out in about a month, which is Invaded, which I can't wait to see that as well. These two documentaries are like bookends to America's story right now on illegal immigration and what's happening. And what JJ and Ryan have done is just unbelievable and staggering. So again, Redacted 15 is the code. Again, I'm not affiliated with it in any way. We're not profiting in any way. I just want to be very clear about that. This is just, we want to help and get this message out. I really, really think that this is one of the most important documentaries you could ever see. So yeah, go to the website right now. It's thisistreason.com. Use the code Redacted15 to get a nice little discount. And we really want to thank JJ for what he's done. He's an amazing team. Once again, JJ, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for your time, Clayton.